know where I'm at. Okay, we got about 10 seconds to the open. And we're off and running. Recorder's on. It is Thursday, the 6th of September, 2018. Let's see if we can let the markets figure out where they're going to go, and then we ride that wave. Want to thank everybody again for being here. That's a 610. I didn't mean a 610. We're kind of in chop around zone on the NASDAQ. We do have a buy signal in the Russell up here. Don't like the where the momentum oscillators are though. Don't like a long momentum oscillator on the NASDAQ. The Dow didn't look like it was moving very much the last couple of days, but once I checked out what the stops were and the movements were, wow, it was moving. I moved down to a 6-unit Renko on the Dow because that seems that was more tradable because the 10-unit Renko, the stops were, there's not one stop I could have taken a trade. Okay. All right, looks like the NASDAQ's going to fail here. If it can get below 75.28, need to be very careful. We're only 2 minutes into the market. We could still get. Okay, now I came up with a sell signal right where I would have done it. But again, what's happening here? They'll suck people into the long or short side, and then rip their lips off. 25 to 18, that's 7. If we go below 25 again, I'm going to go short.
Order pending.
NASDAQ short.
Order
possibly.
filled.
Okay, we're short the NASDAQ. I need to raise that up a little bit here. It's going to go right against me. Let's see. Let's see if it follows through to the up or the downside. You still got those Mexican jumping beans going on here. Got to give it a little bit of room. But and this is the part that, I do have the momentums going lower and the trend lines going lower, so I'll try to stay with it. And unlike the last couple of trades, last 2 days where I didn't stay with it. All right, come on. You know you want to go lower. Tag me. Come on, take me 8.
Target filled.
Okay, now we're okay. All right. Let's see if we can stay with this puppy here. And we're getting a little bit of a bounce.
Stop filled.
Okay. Well, basically that was a push. I lost as much on the rebound as I made on the downside. That's crazy. All right. Which is kind of why I like to get closer to break even a little sooner. And pick your poison. I did say yesterday that if I tried to let it run, it would probably come right back in my face. Those are all the ones I remember anyway. Looks like the Russell looks like it's trying to break out here. Don't like the momentum, so. S&P still in the middle. Looks like it now might be trying to resolve to the upside. Dow's already resolved to the upside. The Dow's up at that 26,025 and then some. Yeah, come on. Okay. And the Dow hit the pre-market highs. NASDAQ's in chop, in the middle. Came back. Pretty heavy bounce. Don't know that I could see a discernible direction either way. If anything, to the downside.
Order filled.
Oops. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can manage this a little better. Yeah, this is not good. I need it to resolve to the downside right now because I don't like where the trend line is. Okay.
Target filled.
All right, now let's see if we get to break even.
Target filled.
Okay. Well, we made targets 1 and 3 on the second one. And it went so fast I couldn't even move my target down because the first thing I was doing is I was moving my stop down. I should have looked and saw that price was going down so fast that I needed to move the target. Okay. Good start for the day. Let's see what we can do. Try not to give it back. Russell looks like there's a short developing right here. And it looks like it may go down to 26. Sorry, I didn't even have time to zoom in on the Russell. Yeah, you're probably right, Alan. We've had a lot of movement here, so we had to be very careful. You know, I had to widen my stop on that one there, so I probably should have widened the target as well, but we'll see. The vast majority of the time, when I go shorts, it goes in my direction. Once it breaks in that direction pretty fast. If it takes a while, it's not going to work. John, you did something. Oops, let me turn this puppy out. Okay. Allen Simulate 2 sold out 4 and 0.25, 936. Okay, well, you probably, Alan Blacker, you probably more than likely got caught up in that little wiggle right here, that first one. If you went short at, well, you didn't tell me where it is, but if you went short anywhere near around here and this thing bounced up against you, but see, the last 2 days I was not giving it enough room. All right, and John K. What was this support area now? Which instrument are you talking about? NASDAQ? Are you talking about Russell? I need to know, sorry. Okay, NQ. Yeah, there was a minor one here around 19.5. Another one that I had with the peach, and you notice that it actually did a continuation box right there before going lower. And all of these acted as kind of a support area, and the bulls stepped up a little bit, but they were overwhelmed by the sellers. I really love the 10 Unarinco and what happens with these continuation boxes. This one, let's mark it up. I'm going to mark that up right here, okay, and then I'm going to change the color. I still haven't figured out how to make that color standard. All right, now this is on a 610 or 6 Unarinco. Well, look what happens when I take it to an 8. It still kind of shows up, but when I take it to a 6, you see the consolidation there. Sometimes you see zigzags, but any of those time frames, you actually see the consolidation and the breakdown continuation. And we had another continuation down here. Now it's starting to get a little long in the tooth, a little old. This movement lower. So I would never play this one right here because it's too late. Right. Are you looking to go long, John? I with this when we've been down more than we're up, I would look for to try to sell rallies potentially. Well, here we go. We are continuing, even though I said maybe it wouldn't work. Wow. And this is the NASDAQ selling off. Let me back out here. We are getting the S&P selling off. The Dow's not. NASDAQ is. Russell's not. What did I say? You're talking about NQ, 450 to 465? They're very possible. There's 405. I said 74.80. I think we're going to get a reaction at the 74.75, 74.80 level. Not that I'm aware of. It could have been. But you see, the news story would have hit them all, potentially. This is specific really to the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ 100 bleeding over to the S&P, I'm guessing. First of all, I watch the chart. I trade the chart. Number two, all news is reflected in the charts, so I really don't care what the news is until later when I have a chance to have a cup of coffee or something like that. Boy, this would have been a nice one to be in, wouldn't it? I was in it, and I'm out on the second one with no sell signal. Target 3 was 84 ticks. What was I on? And I couldn't move mine fast enough. Oh well. I still got nearly $250 on that puppy. So. We're gonna get a bounce back on this at some point. What do we say? 74.75, RJ. You got to 87 or so. Here comes a bounce. And we get a bounce on the S&P. You see the markup over here. We've got the Dow's got a buy signal. Not sure it's the strongest buy signal I've ever seen, though. Yep. Well, we saw the daily chart, and I did say that the candle yesterday was not good. Not good at all. Hey, before I forget, tomorrow I have to go see Dracula and get my blood drawn, do blood work, and give him some bodily fluids there. And I should be back here long before the 9:15, but if I'm running a bit late, please forgive me. I've got to do it every 3 months. And I try to do it on a Friday where it's kind of the least important day in the world. To me, it is. But I'll be here definitely before the open. I mean, I'll be there waiting on their door at 8 a.m. All right, 61% of the retrace. I mean, those are self-fulfilling prophecies and whatever. I tend to only look at the big picture and look what today is going to bring because I'm not trying to do the swings. The swing guy in me would look at those things. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Just an awful lot going on for me, especially when you add moderating to trying to trade as well. So I appreciate that, RJ. I'm going to try to do a monthly e-learning. Um, right. Well, I thought that's why you had me, was to do everything for you. We're going to try to have an e-learning session at least once a month where we have a couple of hours. I Part of me wants to have it during the middle of the day, like an afternoon, but we'd have to try to pick an afternoon that works for most people. Looks like the Nasdaq's trying to rally here. We did get a buy signal while I was chatting here that in the Russell, we've already gone hit in the Dow. Dow's ready at the highs of the day. All right, you already made your money, huh? Well done, sir. So the power of quitting. So that's 13 ticks. No, 13 points. That's probably good enough, isn't it? Did you and you made a little bit on the one before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that 15 times 4, 60 times 5. Yeah, $300. That would be a good day. Yeah, that's cool, because you're treating it you're trading it live, and you're treating it as real money. You're learning. Now, I would also continue to follow the rest of the day, or the morning at least, and see how that goes. We just got a buy signal in the Nasdaq right here. Its first level of defense is up at 75.17. So, it's maybe got 7 points in it. Man, these things are running like wildfire. That Nasdaq long had a 42 tick stop. And we got a little bit of a reaction right there at 17, but not much. Yeah, now it's coming. Now that's matching the bottom of the 5-minute opening range, which also matches up with this stuff over here on the Nasdaq. So just because it traded through this level over here doesn't mean that it doesn't remember what it did when it did a bottom here. So above that, we go 37 or so. If we go down, God only knows how far down we go. Okay, 98. That's 26, 27. 27 ticks on the second. Ha ha ha. The move from when we got short up here till it got down to the stop, not the bottom, but the actual stop out, was in excess of $550. Probably a little late for the long, as far as I can see here. One thing I am going to mark up. See our zigzag? And where did the zigzag occur? Right about in that level. And where did the CPT give the buy signal? Right there. Momentums were both coming up from the bottom. Well, VJ, if I were great at it, I would have gotten about $600-700 out of each of those last three. So I identify the entries, but thank you very much for the compliment, sir. I will take it as much as I can, but I just read the charts. That's all. Let's see how we got that. Some days I do a better job of reading the charts than others. Now you see how this, we did our little box over here, and we got up here, and we pulled back based upon that? No problem. And you're going to have to develop your strategy and feel confident in your strategy and not try to match me. In fact, there are a lot of people who don't try to match me, try to beat me, because I'm trying to do the minimal. I'm trying to show everybody out there you don't have to have a huge, large account, and you don't have to risk the world to make money. So that's my strategy and goal. And whereas if you're trying to maximize yours, you might do it a little differently. Now, there's also a discussion about the power of quitting. Everybody pretty much acknowledges the power of quitting when you're not doing well. Quitting before you blow out your account in one day. Well, they don't understand the power of quitting to the upside. Let's say you have 2 or 3 winners. And if you stay, it's like at the blackjack tables in Vegas. If I stay at those tables long enough, which is why they give us free watered down drinks, is they'll get my money. So the longer you stay there, the more likely you are to have the next one be a loser. Some people say, oh, no, you're on a hot streak. Just stay there. Well, you figure out how you want to do it. My strategy has always been follow my mentor who said power quitting works both ways. Now, you got to make sure that your power quitting isn't, minus 500 and plus 250. MINAP. I don't know what AP is. I'm not in a trade. Did you post that into the wrong room there, Pablo? What's an advantage player? All right. Nope, have no idea. Are you talking about at the casinos? Blackjack, yeah, okay. Blackjack, I use the system cards, which tells me whether I hit or stay. I used to do 16. It's pretty much a stay, but there's I don't know if it's called Advantage Player, but there's a system out there that tells you based upon what cards you have and what cards the dealer is showing, you play the odds. Well, that's kind of what I do here. I play the odds. I knew nothing about craps until the last time I went to Vegas with Hit and Run Candlesticks a couple years ago. We had a small group meet up out there, and one of the guys took us around, took us to show us how to play craps, and won money at craps too. We played the simple parts of it, so it was interesting. I didn't know that I would ever do that. But yes, I do try to play the odds. And that's what I do in trading as well. Find setups that work more than half the time and trade those setups with good reward to risk ratio. All right, the NASDAQ is pulling back. So's the Dow. It went up to hit R1. The S&P still just kind of bouncing around. We're coming up on 10 o'clock in 5 to 6 minutes. We're going to have two reports that hit. Watch for the markets to move at 10 a.m. And we're not going to get 10:30. Let me make sure that I've got my alarm set for 11. I think I do. Yep, 11 o'clock set. Does anybody have Thinkorswim out there? Anybody experiencing this? This is about the third or fourth day in a row that I've had slow charts. So, crazy. I sure hope nobody, I mean, is anybody using Thinkorswim to trade futures out there or thinking about it? Russell looks like it's coming to the high of the day. The reason I mention that is that it has some severe problems. Right. No, I was actually looking at some regular stocks, and Citigroup was just not coming up. It took 45 seconds. The other day, I couldn't get a daily chart. I could get an intraday chart, but I couldn't get a daily chart. I had some Citi puts, and I went ahead and sold them and covered them, thank goodness. Okay, we have a short signal in the NASDAQ. I would probably make it break 75.08 first. We do have the momentums all looking pretty good, so this one could be shorted right now. Let's let that zigzag happen. The only thing is we're looking for probably 75.01 from 75.08, so you're probably looking at 7 points. Yeah, 28 ticks. This could actually just be make a bottom here and go right back into chop. So the counterpunch trader system says they tried to go up. They made lower highs and lower lows. This is likely to make a lower low and go lower. And since we would not be in yet, the blue line's where I would be getting short. And now it does look like it may be resolving, but we haven't closed yet. We need a candle to close. The bulls and bears are arm wrestling here. Okay, John. The darker red candles are a down movement, down close, and a down trend. The salmon colored here, these are down closes, but we are in an uptrend, meaning trend defined by the signal line above the 20, so the 9 above the 20. And when you see the light colored green, that's an up close and a downtrend. And dark green is up close and an uptrend. Basically, what I do is it basically, that short didn't pan out, did it? And now it flips to a long. This is the definition of chop. Let me entertain you with there's an ebook that has the descriptions of the patterns And my chart setups, that should do a pretty good job of explaining what you see on my charts. It looks like the S&P's new highs. David H, come on. There we go. We got a breakout in the Russell as well. And the Dow's going down. Okay. Are they bouncing from market to market intraday? Four charts moving up now? Well, mine aren't, but they're on slightly different time frames too. Yeah, it flipped, but it just flipped right back, John. See, here's the problem with that. We're in chop. Look at you can see it now after the fact, but the range bound from say 75.26 to 75.10, and you got up into here and did the rally. You did the drop, the rally back, and now you're just trying to digest what just happened. And you could see by the crisscross of the moving averages that, whoops, that's not what I want to do. I keep grabbing it too fast. It doesn't see what I'm grabbing. This is what we're doing. We do not want to be trading in there. I want to make it break out below. So what I probably want to do is take this peach line here and say I want to go where that blue line is. Now, if it resolves to the downside on this one, where is it going to possibly go? Maybe 7,500. You're talking about can you stand 7 or 8 points? Maybe just barely. It's not a home run waiting to happen. Russell. As the Russell shifted. Look at the S&P coming back down, folks. And NASDAQ's following. It stuck its toe on the other side of the line. I'd love to see a bounce up to about 12 or 13, but it may not happen. If you're short at 08, you need to have your stop around 14 in the NASDAQ. I am not short. I'm flat still. Now, if we go down in the NASDAQ, we'll have the trend in our favor, but that means that we need to stop right here. If we go much higher than that, oh no, it's already taken out the volatility stop. Stop would have to be about 16, 75, 16. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Looks like it's going to go back into that trading range. Dow, need to keep an eye on the Dow. Dow would have been a good trading vehicle the last few days. Let's see, did we get any buys? That one over here. Yeah, that Dow buy back at 943 still had 45 ticks as a stop. Wow. These stops are killing me. Let's watch for a break in the NASDAQ below 5. There's the signal. Have you noticed how I am basically calling the shots that CPT is going to print? I've trained myself to see the pattern. I don't necessarily need Counterpunch Trader to help me with anything. Where would my target one be? Mine would be around 7,500. Theirs was 74.97 and a quarter because it's mechanical. I'm picking it out based upon swing levels right here. And my target 3 would be at that pink level there, almost where theirs is. So it took probably less than a year for me to learn the Counterpunch Trader system and don't necessarily need an $1,800 system. I've already got it, so I go ahead and use it. I've already paid for it. All right, NASDAQ's still going lower. And target 1 will be around 75.01. Just on the upside of that peach line. Probably right there. And it hit it. Now we're trailing the stops. Trying to get down to maybe the target 3 or trailing it. S&P just dropped through a swing level. Dow's coming up on a swing level, but not going to be a short. Russell, if you're going to get a big bounce here, you could do a short. But it may not try to play with us. We'll see. Nah. So far, nothing. But the momentums are really looking good. NASDAQ's having trouble getting lower, but let's look at this. Somewhere around here at 29.1, because it didn't bounce, it's going to be kind of iffy to me, and you notice how the momentums are pointing down. NASDAQ's trying to stop here around target 2. S&P looks like it might be trying to bounce. Oh, we just went through 10 o'clock. Where did we get the movement? Did we get the movement? We got that push down at 10 o'clock. That's where it happened. Right in here. Off the top here at 10 o'clock. Off the top here at 10 o'clock. Off the top here at 10 o'clock. And I'm going to guess off at 10 o'clock. Yep. I did say it 5 minutes early, but I didn't have a reminder, and I got so wrapped up in the markets, the charts. The reaction to that news, down, rebound, down. Down, kind of sideways, and then down. Zigzag, and you can't see it in the S&P because of the time frame. Let's see, it's drawing a strategy. Oh, it's that. First time I ever noticed that. Okay, we've got a short in the Dow now. Watch out, the Russell's approaching support. I do like the momentums of the Dow. I don't like the fact that it's got all this support to the left, or potential support. NASDAQ is approaching support level over here, right there, and we're getting a reaction, and that happens to be right where target 3 was. Looks like the Russell is reacting off of that support level, and does look like the S&P close to a double bottom, and the Dow still grinding lower. Those reactions, they didn't hold. All right, approaching S1 and NASDAQ. The primary pivot is still a few points below us on the Russell. Well, I passed up a pretty darn good short in the NASDAQ, it appears. All right, I need to take a short break. I'll be right back, guys. Hey, Tim? See your shirt? Hang up on the rail. That was a bit. Stop it. That hurts. All right, doesn't look like I missed anything. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. David says, Q's breaking support needs a bounce from here. All right, let's go ahead and bring up the Q's. And this is what David's talking about. Support level will be around 181. If I use NQ though, we're also about the same thing. 70. Remember I said 74.75? We got to a low of 74.75. Yeah. Okay. So we're at an inflection point. We're at the fork in the road, and as Yogi said, need to take it. Let's look at the other. S&P is approaching its support level at 28.75. Well, I'll just bring it over there. And NASDAQ we just looked at. Now, NASDAQ's been being hammered. Maybe as much based upon the testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill, but I think that's much ado about nothing, to be honest with you. Most of those don't affect the bottom line on those testimonies on Capitol Hill. And so you can't discount price, but you can kind of discount it if you really look at it. Dow's up 43. See, the Dow is doing better than all the other indices at the moment. VIX, 14.4. It's not going... See, the VIX isn't going ballistic. And the VIX is not going ballistic because the ES is not. But what is a T-VIX doing? That's not going ballistic either. See, the S&P is only down 6, but the Nasdaq's down 62, which is 0.8%, about 4 times as much. All right, we have the oil report at 11. That's still 40 minutes away. I'm really surprised that we got continuation moves like crazy over and over again on that NASDAQ. We got down to 74.63. We're trying to make a new bottom of sorts, but it's to prove that as a real bottom, it's got to get over 74.80, this level right here basically, which is S1. And when we got to here's a point. We got down to S1 and we bounced, and then we went right through it. And now we've gone up to S1 once, maybe now twice, to see if we can get back up through it. Old support is now resistance. Getting a little bit of a bounce in the S&P. Let's see, that Dow short still had 41 ticks as a stop. Crikey. All right, there goes Russell to the upside. I can't believe how weak the NASDAQ is, though. Is this just profit taking? Just an excuse to take profits that people have been in NASDAQ for the last 3 months or 4 months. We went to all-time highs, and we're rotating out of it. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We're not trading that long. Well, yeah, Nvidia was a when the Momo stops, they get hit really hard, you know. When Momo stops, Momo stocks really get whacked. Remember what happened a couple years ago, Pro? Look at Twitter as well, Dave. And Goog. Now you know why it's so weak. Oh, what about Microsquish? Mr. Softy. Yeah, yesterday was a really bad day for it. Buddy, come here. Get in here. No, sit down and be quiet. Sit down. Sit down, please. Sit down, please. Yeah, it looks like the NASDAQ is kind of forming a trading range here near the bottom from 60 to 70 to 80, basically. Right in here. And the Dow making its bottom there. Right now, possibly the easy money has already been made today. And I got one of them out of four. Okay, we'll just see what goes. I'm going to show you here in the Russell. Here's the counterpunch trader system. It was in a long. It never got this short at all based upon a 6-unit Renko. There was a definite entry right here below 31, which I think I called. I didn't get in. And a couple of levels below. So no system is perfect. Oh, and by using the volatility stop, if we went short, we could use that as our stopping level and use basically the signal line. I need to clean up some of those markers. It's in chop, but I got a sell signal in the NASDAQ. Probably not going to believe it, but let's get below 61 or so. Hey, 62-ish. Right, I'm going to go silent for a little bit here. Get a little bit of a rally in the NASDAQ now above S1. Probably heading to 87 if it follows through. Wow. Can't even rally. Maybe if we get a continuation candle here, that would work, but right now it doesn't look like it wants to form that. Russell, again struggling, Dow struggling, S&P struggling. Let's see how those go then. NAS needs to get over 81. And now got a definitely in chop in the NASDAQ because I got another short. So Chop City. Buddy, come sit down. No, buddy, that's Tim. You bark. looks like the Russell's coming back. NASDAQ's not. Looks like the Russell's doing it on its own. And now the NASDAQ's coming back a little, I think. Not a lot. And we're down at the bottom of the NASDAQ again. Russell's going back down to the primary pivot. It sure didn't give us a chance to get in, did it? And the lows on the NASDAQ are approaching. And approach that peach line close enough that I'll consider it pretty much a touch. Looks like that Russell's reacting off that level. 1036. A lot of times, David, I find that crude oil does that ahead of the inventory report. Not always. Sometimes you'll get some movement. Let's see. Usually very early on. Oh yeah, we just see all these wicks, man. We had a little bit of movement around 920 or so to the downside, and then we established a trading range. That's our new trading range. We're going to get that established here in a minute as well. Well, NASDAQ is trying to do a dreaded H here, the H pattern. It's really more a lawn chair pattern, H laying on its side. Breaks through there. Katie barred the door again. We're at 74.50 there. Was it RJ who was looking for that? So is the dog barking a long signal or just a trade signal? Only if you interpreted that signal as long. Well, I wouldn't be so sure there, John K. Let the charts tell you. Right now, we haven't even made a higher high. We got to get over, even on my short-term charts, I got to get over 74.61 to make a new high. For me, to be thinking about longs, you probably got to get over this area over here. See all this mess over here is going to be a problem. Let me show you. That's going to be a tough one to get over. When you get over that S1, these are all kind of intermediate steps, step ups, and that's probably a lot easier to get through. This is less through because there's a lot of trading going on there. Well, that might be. And how would you know that for sure, John? You'll see price movement, right? I think you admitted to us during the open house that you were, if I remember right, maybe it was somebody else, you said you lost money when you were trying to predict where the market was going and you got yourself into a bias. Biases are dangerous. Read the charts. I'm being a bit brutal, but I think that's why you joined the room. I have a bias with a small b, so I have an idea of what might work. But I also, and more than anything else, I say, what would prove me, okay, let's just take John K. Sure. What would it take for us to do the possible rally? Well, I said it's 74.82, somewhere in here, and get a buy signal. Unless I get that, that's not going to be the long. And then the shorts, it's pretty extended to long to the downside, so I'm not really sure what it would take. You have a long bias, okay? Over the long term, that works, but if we're trading short term, so that might not work. We're coming back down to the lows again, and the momentums here are such that it could blow through there. You're now getting the reaction where the pros are trying to buy up the double bottom potential. and their stops are a little bit below it. If you get a little bit below it, the thing could crap out. Yeah, we dipped to a new low and rip into the upside now, into the S&P. Oh, that's oil. Sorry. Okay. Can I make a bigger argument? I could make an argument if we drop down to 74.10, which is a volume point of control. We've already gone through the 74.75, 74.80 level. There are probably people ready to jump out of windows right now. We're still well above the 50-day moving average, and we pulled to the 50 since July the 1st, 2, maybe 3 times already. We're still in an upward trend, but the last 3 days, or at least last 2 days, don't seem like an uptrend to short-term traders. Dow is definitely in chop. You can see it right here when I back out a little bit. You have the larger trading range here for the Russell. What does the Russell look like on the daily? Yeah, 1713. Still have a ways to go. Still battling with your 74.50 there, RJ. Nice round number. The Dow's setting itself up for a big move one way or the other. This trading range will be broken at some point. Up or down, we don't know. Spring is coiling up in that Dow. And that's also pretty much corresponding with the 5-minute opening range. We opened, we rallied, got way up here, and then bad news hit. NASDAQ gives a weak buy signal. Is this more pick on social media day? Is there more testimony by the Facebook and Twitter? Oh, here we go in the Dow. We broke lower. Now, will it follow through is the question. We did get a short signal. Leaning back, looking at the big picture. Oh, okay. That's going to go on for the rest of the month, you know. There goes that push finally in the Dow. Russell's starting to go lower, so's the overall market. Everything. Yep, the markets do not like uncertainty. Well, yeah, that Dow short hit target one. That Dow had 47 ticks to it. Whatever weakness is there out there, John K. It just doesn't go away in 10 minutes, an hour. We again, what did I say about an hour ago? All rally, we should be looking to short rallies. Now the Dow's back to its primary pivot. S&P lower. I don't know how much lower we can go today. I really don't. Has anybody been playing these drops here? I don't know. I'm wondering what the volumes are like. Yeah, the volume on the SPY is pretty light. Q's the same. And the Russell, IWM. Diamonds as well. So you could have a point there, John. Looks like let's see what the VIX is doing. It's now up to 15. So we are getting a little reaction. We didn't get as much of a reaction because probably the volume is a bit light. Well, if traders are on vacation, they got their kids out of school, if they have any. That's why I normally think that it's not. Yeah, still in a couple of minutes. Let me put crude back up there in the corner, though. I don't want to. I don't want to forget the other markets while we're looking at crude. They don't stop. Crude selling off with the overall markets as well. Did a zigzag lower on the Dow. Trying to do the same in the Russell and on the NASDAQ. All right. I am going to go over to crude full time here. See if we got that line over there. That's the 68.66. Whoa. Where's that 68.50 come from? Okay, overnight low. Okay. We've got some pretty decent levels here, 15 to 20 points here. I'm only going to trade one contract. Below, I don't really know what we're looking for. Let's see. Let's look at a 10-minute. Okay. Let's see that we're looking at 69 basically for. Let's go to 512. There's our clock. Step away for a second. Coming up on 11, let's watch the crude oil reaction to the upside. Yes, sir. Didn't get a lot of reaction though, did we? Whoa. Yikes. Scared the crap out of myself. Okay, we got about 15 seconds till we're allowed to trade. And there's the downside. And there's the upside. We're still in chop. Still in chop. Did you hear the dog barking again? There's a guy doing lawn outside somewhere. Somewhere in the neighborhood. What's it going to take for me to go long or what's to go short? The short's going to be probably about 68.50-ish. That's why the reaction was up. So we had the first reaction up, then we have the retracement of almost 100%. We're still in chop. You can see that with the crisscrossing movements. oscillators aren't really giving me a whole lot of help. Looks like over a 66 maybe, but
Order
oh,
pending.
shoot, I missed it. Playing around with indicators. Maybe it's a good thing. Nope. Momentum's still pointing up. Not a whole lot of conviction here, guys. We're basically in chop. Probably need to make it break 88 or 90, or break to the downside. There's a continuation move to the downside. Is it going to follow through though? We haven't finished this candle. Now we did. And that's 63. That's only 10 ticks. I can't take that. The markets are selling off too while we're sitting here doing nothing with oil. Russell, Dow, NASDAQ. There's 15 ticks. Got to get down to a bounce level. We're going to get a sell signal here.
Order pending.
And the momentums are iffy.
Order canceled.
Yep.
Order pending.
I don't feel comfortable with these momentums. Price is king, but this sure doesn't make it a high probability, does it?
Order canceled.
This will probably give a buy signal somewhere over 58 if we get up that high. Markets are doing a little bit of a bounce here. Ah, there it went lower. Not even 10 ticks. Target 2, but it made target 2 and 3. Did not have faith in it. That was a consolidation. Well, it's 44. All right, I'm going to say that I missed this one today. And I'm going to pass. It gave us the signal. I didn't take it. I took it off the table twice. Okay, folks, it is now 11:15. We'll probably hang around another 10 or 15 minutes and see if we get any kind of movements in the market, but this is what my Unarinco chart on the crude oil looked like. We had a reaction right here at this level right here, and then just Katie barred the door to the downside. I don't care what they say about inventories, right? Hey, Joe, thanks. NASDAQ is back up to a resistance level right here around 30. To get going to the upside, we probably need a good blow off to the downside to scare the crap out of everybody. Not enough fear out there right now. Nike's doing a bear flag, actually, Joe. Got a delayed buy signal, late buy signal from the NASDAQ. There's short signals appearing. This is just looking like garbage right now. I think we need to put things on pause until at least the afternoon. I'll see if I can come back after lunch. I'm going to leave my stuff, my charts up here, my quad charts up for a moment. I need to see if we've got another presentation this afternoon or this evening. Then I may have to cut off the charts. Hold on. Well, it doesn't look like there's anything this afternoon, so I'll keep an eye out on things. All right, folks, I'm going to step aside. I'll be back around 1:30 or so, and hopefully we'll get something going this afternoon.